Hey guys, D1sco here. So today I'm going to be reacting to the Dead by Daylight 7.2.0 Alien chapter update patch note thing. These are the patch notes that came alongside the Alien chapter, which released earlier today. I didn't I didn't see it was available or even know that it was available until much later. I was going to film these videos earlier, but I was unable to. So by the time I'm recording this, I'm sure anyone who cares has already seen and read these, and I'm sure anyone who cares has probably watched the stuff that's already. I have a video on the trailer, which should be up when this is uploaded. So if you want to watch that, you can. But yeah, so let's jump into the patch notes. Um, so this is pretty normal. I don't really know anything about this going into it. I guess they changed the music for Xenomorph. That's about all that I know. Is I guess his chase music is different. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I wasn't even paying attention to his chase music when I was playing the PTB. I was too busy getting curb stomped by bots the whole time. So but but yeah. So it says Killer Power, Hidden Pursuit. A series of tunnels become available on the map when the Xenomorph is in play. I do remember that. They're interesting. It seemed to me, at least, this is of course just going off of the PTB. I don't know how different it is, but basically there's some set things. Survivors can go to them and get those turrets, but you can also use those spots to tunnel. And it seemed, and it Xenomorph appeared to be one of those characters. I believe there's a few characters in the game similar to him. I can't think of any examples right now. But basically, when you go in, well, I don't know how similar any other characters, but it seemed like he had a set one he would go to. So, like, when you entered one and you started, crawling around the map, like, when you enter one control station and you, like, crawl around in it, it seemed like it had a set one that you would exit out of. So, I'm not, so that, so I'm not sure how true that is. That was just from what I remember. It has been a while since it has been a bit since the PTB, so I may not be remembering 100% correctly, but that was how I remembered it working. So that's interesting. You can enter these tunnels to quickly move around the map, set the presence of nearby survivors. You could do that, yeah, I remember doing that. And speed up the cooldown time of its crawler mode. Oh, oh yeah, it does do that, doesn't it? Yeah. Listening control station attacks nearby survivors, killer instincts, yep. Special ability Crawler Mode. The Xenomorph enters Crawler Mode automatically when not on cooldown. In Crawler Mode, the Xenomorph walks on 4 legs and becomes stealthier, reducing its terror radius, while in Crawler Mode, the Xenomorph also has access to a real tail attack. So I don't know if they did anything to Crawler Mode in the live game, but in PTB, it was very fast how much you got it. I just remember, like, you rarely, like, you were almost like you were in crawler mode a lot in the PTB, and I do like that, and I did like that because it allowed you to use your tail attack, and you were stealthier like a lot like pretty quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if they did tweak that, like made the cooldown take longer or something. I wouldn't be surprised, but I did enjoy it a lot. Map feature, control stations. 7 control stations are carried across the map. Survivors can interact with these stations to get a remote flame turret, while the Xenomorph can enter and exit the turret tunnels underneath the control stations. Special item, remote flame turret. Turrets can be placed on the map to counteract the Xenomorph. When the Xenomorph enters the radius and the line of sight of a turret, the turret attacks. This attack staggers the Xenomorph and will cause crawler mode to end. If a turret successfully knocks the unit without crawler mode or fires for too long and overheats, must be repaired by a survivor. The xenomorph can attack to destroy them. So the turret does take a bit to attack you. Like it takes a bit for the attack to knock you out of crawler mode. I did get knocked out of crawler mode quite a bit by turrets. They're very small, and especially on the map that released alongside them, like the new map for this chapter. That map is very dark. The Nostromo wreckage. It's a very dark map. It's not very bright. It's bright enough, but you know what I mean. Outside of that, it's not very bright. And the turrets are very small, so it's very hard to see the turrets because of how dark it is and how small they are. So, at least for me, I didn't know that. Like I didn't know that there would be like a flame turret there, and then all of a sudden I'm getting set on fire. But it seems like it takes a second or two before it knocks you out of crawler mode, and it's basically you hit it once and you destroy it. But if you don't destroy it, then a survivor can go to the turret and repair it, which is interesting. Oh yeah, perks. Ultimate weapon. When you open a locker, this perk activates for 30 seconds. Survivors entering your terrain scream and reveal their position and gain blindness for 30 seconds. This perk then goes on cooldown for 45 freezes. Not bad, but it is kind of situational because you have to open a locker and get someone in your tear radius. I could see that being good in like a chase situation. Like if you don't really know where the survivor is, you could do that, and if like they're still somewhat by you, they will scream, reveal their aura, and will have blindness. But I do like Ultimate Weapon. I'm sure the perks probably are slightly different compared to the PTB, but they weren't too bad during the PTB. So, Rapid Brutality. You can no longer gain Bloodlust. I do remember that. Hitting a survivor's base attack gives you 5% haste for 8, 9, 10 seconds. Rapid Brutality is a fun perk. Personally, I'm bad at using it. I got absolutely destroyed by bots. But Rapid Brutality is a fun perk. I like that one a lot. Alien Instinct. This perk activates when you hook a survivor. You see the aura of the farthest injured survivor for 5 seconds, and that survivor's oblivious for 16, 18, 20 seconds. I do like Alien Instinct quite a bit. It sounds pretty good. It's pretty good. A new survivor, Ellen Ripley. Perks. Lucky Star. When you hide in a locker, this perk activates. You leave no pools of blood and make no grunts of pain for 10 seconds. When you exit the locker, you see other survivors in the closest generous aura in yellow in 10 seconds. This perk then goes on cooldown for 40 for by 30 seconds. I do like Lucky Star. Very excited to use it. Chemical Trap. Oh yeah, if I remember correctly, I actually managed to get one bot during my during the video on the PTB, which if you haven't seen that, go ahead and check it out. I believe I managed to get one bot to place a chemical trap. I can't remember right now what it looked like, but I remember when I saw it on the palette, I remember like noticing it fairly quickly and like being, thinking it was cool, and then I purposely, I don't know, I hit that palette on purpose because I wanted to see sort of like what it looked like when you got hit by the chemical trap. So I did, and I really liked it. I remember liking chemical trap a lot, like when I did manage to see it. But yeah, I do remember liking it quite a bit. And then after completing 70%, 60%, 50% progress on your generator, so it's very similar. Chemical Trap is very similar to Blast Mine from Jill or Wiretap from Ada. On a generator, this perk activates while standing next to a drop pallet. So, like, the pallet has to be dropped, but if you drop it in chase, there's a chance the killer will break it, so, be careful. Or build in yellow to all, I'm looking in the wrong spot. Press the active ability button to the installer trap, which stays active for 100, 110, 120 seconds. If I remember correctly, Wiretap and Blast Mine also last that long now. They increased how long because Blast Mine had a very short like range, so they made that longer and decided to make Wiretap longer as well. I'm happy Chemical Trap has the longer time as well because it gives you more of a chance to use it. The aura of trapped pallets are revealed in yellow to all survivors. When the killer performs the break action on the trap pallet, the trap explodes and they are slowed for 50% for 4 seconds. I remember thinking it was really cool when I did in the PTB. Skip button. Light-footed. When you are healthy, this perk activates. Your running footsteps are silent. This perk goes on cooldown for 20, 24, 20 seconds after doing a rushed action. I do like light-footed a lot. Light-footed, whenever I do get this chapter and go for her adept, I think light-footed I'm definitely going to get quite a bit of value out of. And I'm very excited to get Ellen's adept. I have someone on my friends list on PC here already has her adept. I do not. I don't even have Nicolas Cage yet either. For in case if anyone was wondering why. There hasn't been a Dead by Daylight gameplay video in a while. Orange is unable to play it, and while I could play it, I pretty much only make videos on adepts, and I can't go for some of the adepts, nor have I been playing the game lately. I've been busy. I haven't really had time to make videos in general anyways, and I've been playing other stuff because I haven't wanted to rage. Right, because I haven't really felt like raging, or I do still enjoy playing Dead by Daylight. I'm also just kind of waiting because last time I played it, it was awful. It was just full of a lot of. It was very hard last time I played it, and people were complaining during a big turnoff for me from doing Scorpion Train BBQ, which I did not play at all of that event. Was people were still complaining about how hard it was. So I was hoping it would be easier, but that was a big reason why I didn't play that event, was because I didn't want to play if it was still stupid hard. Like, that was just me. A new map in Nostromo wreckage. Explore the mysterious crash site of the iconic Nostromo, visit landmarks familiar to the fans of the Alien franchise, in a unique setting where you will find yourself chased in and out of the ship. Run the killer around the shuttle that brought Ripley to the world, the entity, navigate for the alien landscape, and you may yet escape from the remains of the wreckage. I do like the map a lot. It's really good. It's not the brightest map, but I get why it's not bright, and I do enjoy it. PTB life changes. Increase xenomorph movement speed while traversing the map in the tunnel to 18 meters a second with 16 meters a second. It wasn't too slow during the PTB, from what I remember, but it being faster is, in my opinion, good. Whilst inside the tunnel, when in proximity of an exit, the tunnel connection to the control station aura is highlighted for the killer. Okay, pretty good. Improves visual feedback on the tail attack for players. Yeah, I remember during the PTB it being a little tricky to know if you were hitting stuff, like with the tail. Sometimes. Fix the obstruct tail attack animation going through objects for survivors. Okay, I mean that's good. Movement speed after missing a tail attack has been increased to 2.0 meters a second with 1.2 meters while sync cooldown. That's good. Destroy the turrets now takes 60 seconds to return to control state instead of 45 seconds. Oh my god. It was 45 seconds. No wonder why when I was playing the PTB I got my ass handed to me. They were flipping they were getting turrets so goddamn quickly. That was something that they changed from the end transmission PTB. In the end transmission PTB, it was faster to get EMPs during the PTB. So when I played it, when me and Orange played that PTB, because he played it because we just used my computer, both of us noticed that they were getting EMPs like stupid quickly, so we just couldn't play really. So luckily for, so I'm happy that it takes long to get a turret because when I played the PTB for Alien here, that was something that I did notice. It seemed pretty hard, like to, it seemed pretty hard. I just remember it being decently hard. But yeah, so I just think it's good that now it takes longer to get the turrets, so they're not constantly placing turrets and you're constantly getting set on fire. It's a little bit more likely to do that. Yeah, multiple turrets firing multiple turrets firing at a killer, no longer stacked. The xenomorph. Are you kidding me? If there's multiple, because when I played the PTB, I only deal with one turret at a time because that's just the way the bots do it. But if there's multiple turrets close to each other and you get hit by them, they stack. Oh, thank God that's not how that works anymore. My God, what behavior? What the heck? The Xenomorph will not lose its power faster if it's affected by more than one turret. That's good because it's already stupid fast. To like it's already stupid fast. Like one turret from you losing your power. At least from what I remember, there was some leeway time. Like it wasn't instant. You could definitely, if you were better than me, which everyone is, you could definitely do something about it. But when I played, I was unable to. I just remember like I would be looking for the turret, and I would just lose my power and stuff. But I do think that's good that now if multiple turrets are like by each other, they don't stack, so you don't lose your power quickly. When burned by a remote flash flame turret was outcrawler mode ending, power recovery now starts after 1 second, less than 2 seconds. That's good. Although that's a little faster. When burned by a remote flame turret was outcrawler mode ending, power now recovers at 25% per second, less 20%. That's good. So you get it a little quicker. A turret being carried by the survivor now provides the audio radar feedback to any survivor in range. Oh, that's cool. Don't fully understand what that means, but I think that's cool and definitely good. Slightly decrease the turret placement restrictions and turret collision to allow a bit more flexibility with turrets in enclosed locations. That's good. That gives that's good. It gives you more options on places you can put it. Emergency helmet add-on is now rare instead of uncommon rarity. Now offers 35% increased resistance to effects instead of 50%. Huh? Okay. So it being changed to rare. So they changed its rarity to rare from uncommon. So it's now higher rarity. And I guess it was 50% at uncommon, but now it's 35%. So technically, that's a nerf. So technically, the emergency helmet add-on got nerfed, and I don't mean because of the rarity change. I think the rarity change is fine, but technically, it got nerfed because it used to do 50% here. That I guess at uncommon it did 50%, but now it does 35%, and it's higher rarity. But I get why they did that, so I don't really have any complaints with it. It's just funny that it just. I think that's technically unless if it's 35 on top of the 50. No, it's definitely just 35% now. That's interesting that they decided to nerf that one, technically, but I think it's fine. Brett's cap add-on is now an uncommon rarity instead of rarity. So they literally just took the cap and the emergency helmet and basically switched their rarities. I have no issue with that. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything else with the cap, which is fine. And then adjusted Xenomorph chase music. So I have not heard the new chase music yet, nor do I really remember the old one. I remember liking the old one quite a bit, but maybe the new one's better or something. I don't know. I just know that was Ghostface. They added they when they did the killer like rework for Ghostface. They gave him new chase music. Everybody hated it because everybody thought it was too loud, even though you're not going to be paying attention to the music. So I don't know what they were complaining about. And then they made it quieter. People still complained, so they changed it to what we have now in the game. And everybody started complaining and wanted them to revert it back. So it's kind of whatever. Killer Tweaks, the night. Pillaged meat. Decreases the amount of time it takes for a guard to complete their order action by 15%. Was 25%, so that's technically a nerf. So Pillage Meat technically got nerfed because it used to be 25% decrease, like the amount of time it took for them to complete their order action. But now it's 15%, so that's a nerf, but I think it's fine. Tethered Tabard increases patrol time for all guards by 8 seconds, was 2 seconds, so 2 seconds longer, that's fine. Guards patrol, they have like a pretty good control timer, but that's, but I think that's fine. Towns watches torch. When survivors escape guard hunts without being hit 2 times, was 3 times. The night game time detectable stats for 25 seconds. I think that's a lot more reasonable that they made it take less. The Demogorgon. Killer power. Undetectable after teleport lasts 5 seconds, was 3 seconds, that's good. Rat tail. Increases the speed of opening a portal by 50%, was 35%, that's good. Unknown egg. Decreases the cooldown after traversing the upside down by 2.5 seconds, was 1.5 seconds, that's good. So, I have no issues with night changes. Pretty good. Demogorgon so far sounding pretty good too. Violet Wax Cap. Increases the duration of the undetectable effect gained when emerging from a portal by 1 second, was 0.5 seconds. I think that's good. Leprous Lichen reveals the auras of Volthorax while traversing upside down after emerging from a portal. The auras of Volthorax within 16 meters of an active portal are revealed for 3 seconds. Yeah, no, I like Demogorgon and Night got some good changes. They got some good little tweaks. I like that. Audio. Update the audio for Jonah Vasquez, grunts of pain, screams, etc. You're not going to be paying attention to that, but I think it's cool. Definitely excited to hear his updated audio. Features. PC graphics update. New settings to toggle VSync on and off. That's good. New setting to change the FPS limit. That's good. New setting top toggle the anti-aliasing on and off. That's good. Setting for resolution option update. Yeah, that's good. Bug fixes, archives. The It All Leads Here Master Challenge description has been fixed to improve objective clarity. That's good. The Mastering Deadly Senses Challenge description has been fixed to improve objective clarity. That's good. Audio. The survivors pick up HUD sound cue is no longer heard. When killers such as the trapper or the standby pick up their respective killer item. Oh, that's interesting. Though you no longer hear that. I think it's fine though. I just think it's interesting. Not in a bad way though, but it is interesting nonetheless. What else do we got here? The tally screen music is now properly heard if the trial's ending while the singularity was controlling a biopod. Okay, that's good. Interesting that you could that's how that changed the music. Okay, bots. Oh god, the bots are even better now, aren't they? Bots are now more likely to be productive within the Terrarius. Okay. Bots' behavior has improved when facing killer sidekicks such as the Nemesis zombies or Nice Guard. Bots no longer attempt to confuse the killer by crouch walking during chase. Bots now investigate supply cases more often. Bots now telepathically communicate to avoid multiple bots running the healer on unhook his right at the same time. That part still kind of scares me, if you remember me reading that from the PTB. Reverse bear traps no longer cause boss to freeze when the exit gates opens. The bot changes are pretty good. They're not too different from the PTB. They're not too different. The changes aren't too different from what they gave the bots in the PTB, but it's honestly pretty good. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Um, so, pretty good. Characters. When facing the Onryo, aka Sonica, the VHS is not properly licensed for Robert's hands. I mean, you're never going to see that visual, but, it's pretty good. An extra SFX no longer plays, well, it's obvious when the character's holding a tape, but I mean, like, are you really going to pay attention to how they're holding it? I think most people wouldn't, but it's pretty good. An extra SFX no longer plays when specific killers pick up a killer item. Okay, they kind of talked about that earlier, so, well, similar thing. The hide action is no longer executed upon entering the interaction zone of a locker while holding the input. Okay. There's this spasmodic breath add-on no longer increases the carrying speed. Okay. Interesting. Survivors no longer lose deep wound when grabbed by a killer during a vault. Survivors hiding in a locker and hit by the artist's dire crows are now correctly revealed by killer instincts. The twins no longer enter a broken state when switching control and being stunned simultaneously. The knight is now correctly able to summon a second guard at the same location of the first summon. The survivors hit by the Deathslinger's harpoon projectile will now correctly play pain, injury, or gut soda on hit. The tangible status no longer triggers plays with food. When emerging from a portal, the Demogorgon's add-on Lepra's Lichen Aura reveal is now correctly distance limited. Entering a locker no longer requires consideration of blindness stats effects from killer perks and add-ons. The Cenobites Mori animation is no longer misaligned with survivors. Killer's camera is now always properly aligned with the killer's orientation. Getting hit by the Onryo no longer causes survivors to have a VHS tape in hand at the start of retrieving the next VHS. The dredge can no longer break locks with a basic attack while inside a locker. Sounds pretty, honestly, pretty good. Perks. A survivor's aura is no longer revealed to the killer when in range of a cleansed dual totem when using the perk Hex Undying. The perk Friendly Competition now correctly activates when a generator is completed by a bot. Survivors can no longer bypass the perk Overcharge by quickly repairing the generator and leaving it. Blood Pact no longer fail to activate when using an anti-hemorrhagic syringe add-on. The effects of plot twists are now correctly disabled after being hooked. The Scene Partner perk is now correctly activated by the terrorists of the Xenomorph. Pretty good. Platforms. Steam experiencing a network issue will no longer cancel an existing lobby. UI. The match found message will no longer appear during matchmaking. Instead, the UI will go from searching the match directly into joining match. Display the remaining. Okay, so it would just say match, like it goes, because it used to go searching for match, and then it would go match found, and then it would go into joining match and like make the noise and stuff, but now I guess they just jump straight to that. Display the remaining time when hovering the mouse on the stored character item. Fix an issue where bot loadout slots grayed out when nothing equipped. Fix an issue where the online subsequent subsection was in social media gets reset when choosing to restore defaults in another section of the options. The UI is not bad. Miscellaneous. Fix an issue where the Ryan Killer's power could appear in the loadout menu, preventing equipping add-ons. Disconnecting players can no longer spectate the game they disconnected from. Fix an issue where the game crashes when the Cenobite teleports to the lambda configuration. Honestly, it's pretty good. The Xenomorph since BTB. When the Xenomorph is in a tunnel, the horizontal distance no longer counts towards perks with distance requirements. Okay. Flame turrets can no longer be placed in such a way as to block passage for the killer or partially block access for survivors. Interesting. Fixed an infrequent crash when starting a custom match with the Xenomorph. Okay. Breaking down a flame turret while holding a limited item no longer causes the survivor to be unable to pick up or place the turret. Okay. The Xenomorph's tail placement is no longer affected by survivors. The Xenomorphs are no longer alerts crows in the map on runner mode. Is this something? Placeholder white orb is no longer visible and Haddonfield when he cures the Xenomorph. The flame turret's detection race VFX no longer remains visible when performing other animations while holding the flame turret. The flame turret no longer rotates in survivors' hands when performing gestures. Survivors who are grasped from a locker no longer keep their flame turret. You could keep your flame turret that way? Oh my god. The next thing, a control station as Xenomorph is no longer possible to briefly see out of the world. The acidic blood add-on now displays the correct icon when exiting a tunnel. Survivors can no longer pick up multiple flame turrets at once. Performing a breakdown flame turret action while screaming no longer causes the flame turret's fire VFX to play incorrectly. The haste effect icon is now shown properly when playing the Xenomorph with Parker's headband add-on. The Xenomorph no longer pops into view in the main menu. When in a turret tunnel, the Xenomorph's off-screen indicator tracking moving survivors no longer jitters. Not bad. Oh god, there's so much. Okay. Perks. The Xenomorph and Ellen Ripley since PTB. The Xenomorph and Ellen Ripley perks are now in the right order in the character info section. Okay. The Xenomorph's tail attacks now correctly consume plays your food tokens. Okay. Blast Mine and Wiretap can no longer be placed on generators with 0 progress. Okay. The chemical trap no longer stays active after being broken by one night's guards. Okay. Chemical trap's HUD indicator no longer starts with progress or ends early. Okay. Pretty good. Public test build PTB adjustments audio. Killer audio such as footsteps once again correctly placed in the tele screen. Some of the Xenomorph footsteps sounds are no longer missing from some quadrupled animations. Bots. It just says bots, okay? Bots now avoid running to heal a down survivor was the nearby killer. Don't get like one of the things is just bots, but okay. Probably a typo, maybe. Characters. Fix an issue that caused Jonesy to not appear and disappear correctly in the lobby. Oh, that's right, Jonesy's the cat. I found a glitch involving Jonesy when I put the PTB, and I'm so happy I caught it on camera, I believe, because the animation was happening, but Jonesy wasn't there, if that makes sense. So the animation of Ellen still looking at Jonesy was still happening. Ellen petting Jonesy and all that was still there, except she was petting nothing and she was looking at nothing because Jonesy wasn't there. There was just nothing, and yet somehow she's doing all this stuff. The fact that Ellen, I didn't even know she talked, Ellen, because I wasn't told beforehand she did. It just happened to work out when I was playing the PTB, when I was reading her, I believe I was reading her backstory, and all of a sudden her in-game model said something. I think it's cool that she talks. I just wish I would have known that sooner. It's fine. I get that. Because no one really talked about the fact that she did. I don't even think the behavior themselves said anything about her being able to do that, if I'm remembering correctly when I looked, but that's fine. And then, well, there we go. Fix an issue that caused the laser to be too intense when playing against the Xenomorph. Okay. Okay. Multiple Jonesies will no longer spawn as part of menu idle animations. Okay, so they just fix an animation, I guess. Fix an issue that caused the hillbilly. That caused the hillbilly to clip for the camera when using the basic attack. Or hooking a survivor. Okay. Fix an issue that caused the singularity to drop carry survivors on the ground between its legs rather than dropping them on its side. Interesting that that was a thing he did. Fix an issue that caused the spirit's sword to not fully reset when attacking twice while holding a survivor. Fix an issue that caused melee survivors to hold the first aid spray towards themselves when using it on a teammate in a trial. Fix an issue that caused the skull merchant's elbow to bend and stretch during the idle animation in the lobby when equipped with the executive terror torso cosmetic. Interesting. Fix an issue that caused survivors to still hold a VHS tape when attempting to retrieve it from a TV set after losing a VHS tape by getting hit by the Onryo. Platforms. Removed incorrectly distributed Attack on Titan cosmetics for players in the Windows Store. Oh yeah, those are gone now. Players on Switch with improperly synchronized time can now correctly start the game. Okay. UI. The report feedback pop-up should now be correctly localized. Nice. Legion and Michael Myers now have new portrait renders on the selection screen. They have new portrait. Okay, I'm gonna have to check out those later. Miscellaneous. Fixed a crash that could occur when queuing up for a trial. Restored missing cosmetics that were reported as lost in 7.1.0 release. Nice. Known issues. Crawler mode is incorrectly translated as runner mode in game and will be updated in a future update. Oh yeah, that's right. During the PTB, it was called a runner mode, but he crawls more so. So I guess it's supposed to be crawler mode. So that's good. Instability maker when full screen mode setting is used when the game is out of focus. Due to an issue with the tempo purgation, the map has been temporarily removed from rotation. The offering The Last Mask has also been disabled until this issue is addressed. Huh. So they're fixing up tempo purgation. That's cool. Honestly though, not bad. There wasn't anything too crazy in this. It was mostly about Xenomorph. Like, I would say the large majority of this stuff was about Xenomorph. Which is fair. I mean, there was other stuff, of course, but they were all sort of small, like, little things. Most of the sort of major changes were for him. The killer tricks were pretty good. The Xenomorph changes were pretty good. The changes from PTB were pretty good. But yeah, so I think this patch note isn't too bad. It's pretty good. I might like it a lot. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, ring the bell. The only algorithmic garbage helps us out a lot. It means a lot to us. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.